she was to distinguish two different kinds of mourners. Some are restrained in their sympathy, correct and prosaic. What a misfortune! Who would have thought it? I saw him not so long ago. How did it happen? Who was his doctor? And so on. In a word, strangers. For others, it is not even a question of grief, but the sudden opening of gates into eternity. While the whole of natural existence has lost its stability and its coherence, yesterday's laws have been abolished, desires have faded, meaninglessness has displaced meaning, and a different, albeit incomprehensible meaning has caused wings to sprout at one's back. Into the grave's dark maw are plunged all hopes, plans, habits, calculations, and above all, meaning, the whole meaning of life. In the face of this, everything needs to be re-examined or rejected, and to be measured against falsehood and corruption. People call this a visitation of the Lord. A visitation which brings what? Grief? No, more than grief. For he suddenly reveals the true nature of things. And on the one hand, we perceive the dead remains of the one who was alive, the mortality of all creation, while on the other hand, we simultaneously perceive the life-giving, fiery, all-penetrating, and all-consuming Comforter, the Spirit. But whether such perception can outlast the mourning process is another question. Eventually, they say time heals. Would it not be more accurate to say deadens all? Normality is gradually restored. The soul reverts to its blindness. The gates to eternity are closed once more. Nevertheless, a person may maintain himself on the plane of eternity by acceptance of the new order revealed. There is no binding necessity to relapse into everyday life, into the untroubled management of everyday affairs. Let them go their own way, and the light of eternity may yet suffuse them so long as the individual does not grow afraid, does not run away from his own self, does not renounce his awesome fate, his personal Golgotha, his personal and freely accepted bearing of the cross. And I am convinced that anyone who has shared this experience of eternity, if only once, who has understood which way he is going, if only once, who has perceived the one who precedes him, if only once, such a person will find it hard to deviate from this path. To him all comforts will appear ephemeral, all treasures valueless, all companions superfluous, if in their midst he fails to see the one companion bearing his cross. I thought I was still rich, the mother of a living child, but Lord, I must grow poor. The day of reckoning draws near. Uproot from my exhausted heart all earthly hope, elation, fear, whatever feeds or fills me, and leave the anguish in command.